Hello, and welcome to this 20-minute yoga sequence designed to help you stretch and unwind after work. Today we'll be opening up through the chest, the shoulders, and the hips, and this class is perfect for anyone who's been sitting all day and is just looking for some gentle movement. We're going to start lying down on our bellies. When you're ready, I'll meet you on the mat. Stack one hand on top of the other to make a pillow to rest your forehead. Tops of the feet are flat on the floor, and your feet are a bit wider than your hips. Allow your body to relax into the support of the floor beneath you, and take a few deep breaths. As you inhale, notice how the air expands into the backs of your lungs. And as you exhale, the air releases out. Bend both knees, bringing your toes to point towards the sky. And on your next exhale, gently rock both feet over to the right, keeping the knees bent. Inhale the feet back to center, and exhale to lower the feet to the left. Keep this movement going, slowly rocking your feet from side to side, like windshield wipers on a car windscreen. In this movement, we're gently moving into the hips and the lower back, warming up those joints. Bring your feet back to center and lower them to the floor. Prop yourself up on your forearms. Elbows are under shoulders or slightly ahead of your shoulders. Fingers are spread wide, pointing forward. And as you inhale, actively reach your chest forward, gaze is forward. Sphinx pose. Breathe deeply here, feeling the expansion through the front of the body. Actively press into your forearms to rise up out of the shoulders. And slowly lower yourself back down. Bring your hands by your ribs and press yourself up to tabletop, hands and knees. Wrists are under your shoulders, knees under hips, and fingertips are still spread out nice and wide. And on your next inhale, start to tilt the pelvis, just the pelvis, up towards the sky. And then drop the belly down, look forward, chest forward, cow pose. And as you exhale, we're going to do cat pose, but coming from the pelvis, just like we did in cow. Tilt the pelvis first, tucking it under, rounding the lower back, and then round through the rest of the back, dropping the head and neck down, and lifting the belly away from the floor. Inhale, start the movement from the pelvis, tilting it up towards the sky, then dropping the belly and lifting the chest forward, gaze forward, cow pose. Exhale, pelvis tucks under, round your back, relax your head and neck. Keep going like this, Starting the movement from the pelvis, alternating between your cat and your cow. Bring your spine back to a neutral position. Come up onto your fingertips and step your left foot forward between your hands for low lunge. You can bring some padding to that right knee if you need. Take a moment to set yourself up in your low lunge. And then ground your right hand on the floor beneath your right shoulder and lift your left hand up to the sky for easy twist. Turning the chest to the left. And start to take big circles with that left arm, rolling the shoulder out nice and slow in one direction. And when you're ready, change the direction of your circle, rolling out the shoulder in the opposite way. Next time your left hand comes to the floor, bring fingertips to the floor next to your left foot. And then we're going to rise up, shoulders stack over hips, and hands rest on that left knee for support. And now we're going to tuck the pelvis under, just like we did in cat pose, tilting the pelvis down, pointing it down towards the floor, pointing the tailbone towards the floor. And you might start to feel a stretch in that front of that right thigh. Those are your hip flexors being stretched. And you might like to stay here if you feel like you have enough sensation there, or maybe gently rock forward and back. But as you rock forward, keep thinking about that pelvis tucking down, pointing the tailbone down towards the floor. So there might be a tendency as you rock forward to let the lower back arch, but try and keep that tuck. Move nice and slow and gently here. And come back to center, front knee over front ankle. And as you inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. You can release that tuck of the pelvis now and maybe even let it naturally arch slightly. Actively press into the front foot and the back shin, lifting up out of the hips. Maybe lifting the chest up towards the sky, gaze up. And maybe even leaning a little back for a gentle back bend. Only going as far as is comfortable here for you today. And then starting with your chest, lift yourself back up to center, shoulders over hips, and bring both hands to the floor, either side of that left foot. Step the left foot back next to the right. Bring your big toes together to touch. Walk your knees out a bit wider than your hips. Sit your hips back onto your heels and rest your head and chest down for child's pose. Maybe walking the fingers out a little bit more, forward, and come back to your breath. On your next inhale, look up between your hands. Walk your hands over to the left and rest your head back down towards the floor. Coming into a side bend, feeling the expansion through the right side of the body, the right rib cage. Look up between your hands again and slowly walk both hands over to the right this time. Rest the head down and breathe. Inhale to look up. Walk hands back to center. Rise back up to your tabletop, hands and knees position. This time we're going to step the right foot forward between the hands, coming into low lunge on the other side, taking a moment to find your comfortable version of low lunge. And then on your next inhale, left hand to the floor under left shoulder, fingertips spread wide, and lift the right hand up into the air, reaching the right fingertips up as high as you can for easy twist. And start to make those arm circles on this side, rolling out the right shoulder, nice and slow. And try to keep the rest of the body steady here as you make these shoulder rolls. So you're isolating the movement just into that shoulder joint. Change the direction of the circle when you're ready. Next time that right hand comes to the floor, touch the fingertips down, bring yourself back to center, and then lift up, hands clasp on the right thigh. Shoulders are over hips, and tuck that pelvis under just like we did on the other side, just like we did in cat pose. Take a moment keeping the right knee over right ankle to start. Notice where you feel the stretch on that left leg, and maybe taking the option to gently rock forward and back, actively pressing into the right foot as you do so. Bring yourself back to center, right knee over right ankle, and sweep your arms up overhead, reaching the fingertips up high, letting the pelvis relax a little bit to untuck, and actively press into the right foot and the left shin. Maybe lifting the chest up towards the sky, gaze up, and maybe leaning into a little back bend here. You don't need to make this a big movement. Just coming to your point of comfort. And on your next inhale, rise back up, shoulders over hips, and bring both hands to the floor, either side of that right foot, and step the right foot back to meet the left. Now we're going to come through to a seated position, sweeping your legs around. Feet are flat on the floor and knees are bent here. And bring your hands behind you. The fingertips are pointing forward, fingers are spread wide, and palms are pressing into the floor. Actively draw your elbows together, drawing the top of that shoulder back in space, And inhale to puff the chest up high, looking up, finding another gentle back bend here, and maybe feeling a stretch through the front of that chest, front of the shoulders. Keep the hands actively pressing into the floor and press your feet into the floor. And breathe. And slowly lift your head up to center. Release the arch in the back, relax the shoulders. Wrap both hands around your knees and let your head rest down and your back relaxes and rounds. Finding a little counter pose here to that back bend. And lift yourself back up to center. Bring your hands behind you again, but you can have your fingertips pointing backwards this time. Step your feet out as wide as the mat, and your toes can point a little bit out if you like. And then gently rock both knees to the left, maybe bringing the hips with it, lifting the right hip up off the mat. And then gently lift your knees back to center and lower both knees to the right, lifting your left hip up. And now keep that movement going on your own, sweeping both knees to the left and lifting right hip. And sweeping both knees to the right. So this is just like we were doing in the beginning when we were lying on our belly, sweeping the legs from side to side. But in this seated version, you might feel a little more intense of a stretch along the inner thigh as we're moving into internal and external rotation of the hips. You might find that you start to shuffle down your mat, so you might need to recenter yourself like I have to. And when you're ready, bring your knees back to center. Gather up your legs into a cross-legged seat. Rest your hands on your knees or into your lap and close down your eyes. And take this final moment to notice how you feel now. After taking this time to practice and to move, how do you feel in your body and in your mind? And what has changed, if anything, since the beginning of this video? When you're ready, softly open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more practices like this, let me know in the comments down below, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. I hope to see you again at the next one. Bye bye.